everybody, this is Carissa from Happily Ever Paper Crafter, and today I have another project to share with you for the 12 Days of Cricut. Today the cartridge we're going to be using is the Sweet Tooth boxes. It's a Cricut Projects cartridge, and it just has a lot of really fun boxes that you can cut out. So today that's what we're going to do. I'm choosing to make this sort of treat box, and the cool thing about that is you build it, it becomes a 3D box, but then you can choose one of any of these three lids to go on there. Let's see if we can get a closer look. So there's the square box, which is the base, this yellow one, and then you can choose a plain square lid to cut out, or this window lid, and it kind of has like a label lid into this, or this circle window lid, and it looks like it has like a scallop edge. So what I'm going to cut out today is this square box and then this circle window lid. And you can see there's a picture of the overlay, and it shows you which button you need to be hitting, which is always really nice because I always spend time searching on my Cricut which buttons I'm going to be hitting. So the paper we're going to be using is last year's Echo Park Christmas line paper, Holly Jolly Christmas. And this one I know I've already cut out. I used this last year, this little piece, but don't worry, we'll have enough. This one is called and then this one is called Winter Green Icicle Blue. So those are the papers we're going to be using. That side. Okay, so we'll head on over to the Cricut and I'll show you how we're going to cut this out. So we're here at the Cricut and I've already loaded my paper onto the mat. So I'm just going to load it into the machine. Oh. And I practiced sizes that I wanted to cut out this box at, and I know I'm going to cut it out at 11 inches. So I'm going to make sure that my pressure's on max and my speed is up high and that my blade is set at 6, and it is. And I've already set my size to 11, and I know that that's the box that I would like to cut out, and it says square box, and that's correct. So we're just going to hit cut. And here's my second paper all ready to go. It's at 11 inches, and even though there's some holes over here, I know it's not going to mess up with my cut. So I'm going to cut the circle window lid with the scallop edges. Yep, and we're going to hit cut on that. After this is done cutting, I'm going to cut out a second one of these circle window lids in just plain white cardstock, and I'll show you why in a little bit. Okay, so we have all of our pieces cut out. We have the large square box base, and then the circle window lid with the scallop edges. And Cricut does a really nice job of like cutting these little slits. You can't really see them on camera, but there are these little slits that they cut, and that's where you're supposed to score. Sometimes I score, sometimes I just fold. If it's something complicated, I think I would do a better job at scoring, but for right now I'm just going to fold. And then there's these little tabs that you can fold in, and that's where you're going to put your adhesive. And again, I'm going to be using the Scotch Quick Dry Adhesive. Got my little pin in the top, didn't take that out. And I'm going to use this because I had some glue difficulty there. Okay, whoop, well, that was a lot of glue. So you can glue the edges here with the tab, and I like to do that so you can hold both sides at the same time, and if you would need to adjust something, you could do that. And even though it does say it is a quick dry adhesive, it is, but you are able to leave it on there for a little bit before you need to press it down. So I'm doing the lid first for a reason, because we're going to set this aside and come back to it, and I just want to make sure that that glue sets pretty good. Okay, so we move that to the side and work on the bottom. And again, there's these little cuts throughout that you can just fold against. And then again, you can fold these flaps in. Okay. Putting some adhesive on the flaps. And then some adhesive over here. And I do really like this cartridge. There's a lot of adorable boxes that you can cut from the Sweet Tooth box cartridge. I like these boxes in particular because they're really easy to make and fast. And with some pretty paper, they just look adorable. And you can cut them in any size. So if you would be making some jewelry, or you bought like some jewelry, you could make the box really small. Or in this case, if you were going to make some cookies and you wanted a nicer, larger box, you could make something like what we're making today and put some cookies or something like that in there. So now, it's going to fit really nicely on there. And we could be done, but I'm going to take it one step further. I love that there's a hole in the top, but my cookies could just fall out. So what I'm going to be doing, excuse me, is creating a layer of acetate to put in between there. So I told you I was going to cut out an extra piece of the lid cut in a white cardstock. And what I'm going to be doing is just trimming that down. Now you're not going to see this because this is going to go on the inside of the lid. So there we go, we got that cut out. And another thing I did off camera is pre-cut a sheet of acetate. And I save all my Cricut cartridge containers. That was a tip I learned way back in case I ever need a piece of acetate. So that's what I've cut this from. And if you just lay that in there and lay that over top, now you have a piece of acetate for your window. So what I'm going to be using for that, and what I think works the best with if you ever have to adhere acetate, is the Terrifically Tacky Tape. And you can get this lots of different places. So I'm just going to run an edge of this around the clear acetate. And the nice thing about the cartridge containers or the cartridge cases is it's nice thick acetate. So when you need it to be a protective barrier or a strong piece of acetate, that comes in pretty handy. I know they sell acetate, like 12 by 12 pieces of acetate at different stores. In my experience, that's type of acetate can sometimes be flimsy. I'm going to peel this back. And then adhere that down. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to be putting this on the inside. So I'm going to do that off camera and I'll be right back. Off camera, I took the liberty of sealing on the acetate. So then our box has a sturdy window in it. And I also ran some washi tape in this cool candy cane around the edge. And then I cut out 2 snowflakes from the Winter's Lace cartridge, which I've layered together and put a brad through. And then I'm just going to kind of manipulate the top layer to give it a little bit more dimension. And then these little pokey layers too. And I just like that the Cricut cuts, you can manipulate them in such a way that they can add a lot of 3D features. So, and I've put some foam tape on the back of that. We'll stick that right down in the middle of our acetate. So we got this floating snowflake in the middle. And there we go. We're all set. And this is going to be a great gift that we can fill with cookies or candy or a handmade gift or a mini album, any way that you'd like to make a box and then fill it with some great details. So thanks for watching another episode of the 12 Days of Cricut.
Have a holly jolly Christmas, it's the best time of the year. I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a cup of cheer. Have a holly jolly Christmas, and when you walk down the street, say hello to friends you know and everyone you meet.